President Truman, welcomed by Michigan's Governor Williams to Detroit's 250th birthday celebration, urges the citizens of this key industrial center and of the nation to keep production going full blast.
As your president, I am telling you that the dangers in other parts of the world are just as great as they are in Korea. Every day, reports come to my desk about Soviet military preparations around the world. If every one of you could see these reports and receive this same information, you would give up any thought that danger is over. Don't let anyone confuse you about this. We cannot let down our guard no matter what happens in Korea. The free world must have armed strength. The free world must have it now. Not in reserve, not later, but now. We must have men, ships, planes, tanks, and bombs on hand ready for any emergency. And if we have them, we won't have to use them.
Next day, Senator Taft, on a pilgrimage to Plymouth Rock, where he's welcomed in much the same way the Pilgrims were in 1620, replies to the president in a blistering attack on the administration. Beginning a nationwide tour to find out whether most Republicans want him as their presidential candidate next year, Taft calls for a return to the basic principles of the Pilgrim Fathers. He says,
"There is no reason for pessimism about the present situation. There is no reason for fear or trembling. We are by far the greatest nation in the world and the fastest growing nation. It is only our leadership which has led us temporarily into this emergency problem. We have the means at our command to solve it. We have a people united as to our purposes. We need only a government inspired by the principles of the Pilgrim Fathers, a government which is honest to the core, a government which furnishes moral and religious leadership to its people, a government inspired by the dominating purpose that it will maintain at all costs the liberty of its people from foreign and domestic threats."
In California, the FBI rounds up 12 more of the nation's key Reds, 7 of them in San Francisco, where they're arraigned before Commissioner Francis Fox on charges of conspiracy. Because previously convicted communist leaders jumped bail, bail for the 3 top men is now set at $75,000. Unable to raise it, they go to jail in the FBI's first move to destroy the Communist Party on the West Coast. An American soldier shepherds an orphan of war through a GI CHOW line. The story began when this tiny Korean waif was found wandering sick and alone by Captain Raymond Justy of Mark, Illinois. Captain Justy adopted him. Warner Pathe News cameraman Gene Zania reports this incident takes place somewhere in Korea. He might have said everywhere in Korea. But nowhere is the relationship between American soldier and children of war so poignantly captured as in this story without words about a little girl who is very hungry and very shy. Such is the story of kids in Korea.
The appetizing vegetables in the famed Turin, Italy marketplace attract 2 eminent men of science, Professor Antonio Sardella, the bald gent, and his assistant, Dr. Adolfo Palumbo. It's the most fateful day of their careers, and this excursion into the stalls is fraught with significance. In the operating room, there's no time to lose. The patient is sinking. Who wouldn't with a face like that? Sardella calls for aid. Quick, Palumbo, scalpel, forceps, cucumbers, celery. The vegetables on the pan are a part of a beauty course designed to turn Signorina Pacanuzzi into a cute dish. While Sardella rushes out for the mayonnaise, Palumbo takes over. Detroit, some of America's fastest and most graceful humans compete for the National AAU Swimming and Diving Championships. In the women's 100-meter breaststroke event, Judy Cornell of Portland battles it out with Carol Pence of Lafayette. Flashing down the stretch comes Miss Cornell to win in 1 minute 21 seconds. It's a new AAU record for our happy mermaid, Judy Cornell. By day and night for 5 days, the great tournament goes on. In the men's 100-meter freestyle, Dick Cleveland of Hawaii and Ohio State makes another record tumble. The crowd sees Dick spurt home. His 56 4/10 seconds better is record set by Wally Reese and the famed Johnny Weissmuller. The upset of the meet is provided by the men's 400-meter freestyle event. Here, the race was supposed to be between Hawaii's sensational Ford Kano and Australia's John Marshall, the defending champion. But the heavy favorites get left behind as an unknown 19-year-old Yale student named Wayne Moore zooms to the finish 2 whole body lengths ahead. Joaquin Capilla of Mexico takes off in the men's platform diving competition. Dan Schaefer full twists through the air. And here's the dive that hit the jackpot by last year's champion, John MACCORMICK. Winning by less than a point, John becomes this year's champion, too. In the women's platform diving, it's Paula Jean Myers showing noteworthy form. But there's no surpassing Los Angeles' great Pat McCormick. For the 2nd year in a row, Pat sweeps the diving events. A 21-year-old girl with wet pigtails becomes the outstanding star of the National AAU Championships.